Not sure if anybody's here. I'm going live. It's going to be a semi-boring stream. We're going to tear apart the shelf real quick and see if we can't get this thing reorganized. So if you're down there, what up, Print? It was just a bunch of shorts, dude. I've been trying to put out more shorts because it gives the channel more reach. But I cannot figure out how to get it so it doesn't notify the subscribers, because the shorts are essentially just my full videos, and I know you guys have already seen it, and I'm not trying to like bombard you guys with things that you've already seen. But like I said, what up, Print? Might be kind of a boring stream, dude. We're just gonna kind of tear apart my shelf, if I can angle this right, and kind of organize this thing, you know, kind of separate the horror from the DC stuff, and we'll see how this even goes or how long it'll be streaming for. But I thought I'd just throw up the live and hang out with you guys while I do it. I'm just trying to, I'm rigging the worst stand ever. I did have a ring light, but it decided to break. Yeah, I seen that, and I think what I got to do is start uploading my shorts on the desktop, because usually I just make clips from my phone right off my YouTube channel, and it just doesn't have that option. But I've also heard that if you don't notify the subscribers, because if it goes to your subscribers and maybe they're busy or something and they don't check it out, it'll actually like stop pushing it to the algorithm or whatever. There's a whole bunch of stuff on YouTube, but we're trying, you know. I put out what I can. So far, things have been going pretty good with everybody that I already currently have, so I'm quite happy with it. I got this little cat. Probably going to have to take her out because she's being very naughty right now. Yeah, yep. I think it only does that on desktop, but not mobile for some reason. Yep, this is my little brother's cat, Susan. She's very strange. She's just a weird cat, but I'm gonna have to kick her out for the time being, sadly, because she likes to rub up against all these plants, and I don't know if you can already see all this stuff on her head, but yes, she's trying to eat my fake plants and things. There, Susan. What up? What up, everybody? I see there's 5 people in here, and heard. Do what I gotta do. Will do, Print. There's 7 people in here. Holy crap. What's up, everybody? We're just gonna, like I've already said, we're gonna tear apart my bookshelf, and I'm just gonna organize some things. I thought I'd just go live and hang out with everybody. Comes the cats and plants. Pine cones will keep them out? I've never actually heard that. Very interesting. But because it's no longer Halloween, we're gonna go ahead. Let me know if you guys can't hear me, or if I'm playing music off my laptop. If it sounds like shit, just let me know. I'll turn it off. But I like to have some vibes going, you know, when we're doing these things. So first, we should probably take down my collectibles. I'm gonna quick show you guys these because they're very cool. One of my uncles actually runs Wood Carving Man on TikTok. He's actually blowing up, dude. He just made like a Five Nights at Freddy's carving of the cupcake, and it got over 3 million views in 2 days. So he's doing good. You guys should definitely check out his stuff. We got Slenderman, Worms. I forget what his name is, but he's from Soul Reaper, I think. Soul Reaver. And Pinhead, obviously. But we're gonna set those down on the ground. Yeah, man, he does some really cool stuff. Sound is fine? Okay. Can you guys even hear the music? Is it worth me playing? But it's not Halloween anymore. I'm gonna keep up my autumn leaves because I do love these things. But we're going to attempt to actually rip all these cobwebs down. I got really afraid when I first did this because I knew it was gonna be a pain in the ass to actually get that stuff to go away. Legacy of Kain, yep. I've only played the first one, like an hour or two. One of my buddies is a huge fan of the Soul Reaver series, and yep, Soul Reaver, yep. But We're gonna take down some more stuff. This is actually, I 3D printed this little mabob, and I actually stained it. It was a wood filament, and then I added some plants. This is actually one of my very first videos that was on the channels. I actually started this channel to do 3D print videos, but it evolved to what I'm doing now. This thing that I've had for a while, I made this thing 100% all me. What this thing does is you slip a switch into this box right here, and it turns it into a really cool little like retro computer or whatever. And then it's complete, so you can actually put like a Bluetooth speaker in here, and you can also store your Pokemon. Yeah, Brent, have you actually watched some of my older stuff when I was doing 3D prints and whatnot? Break down another thing, and this right here, I call this the Shrine of Eternity or something like that. I don't have the battery pack right now, but it actually, this is another thing that I completely designed all by myself. Open the hatch, throw the battery pack in, and all these lights and stuff actually glow. And right in here is actually an infinity mirror. So like it looks like you're just looking into eternity. Let's see what you guys said. Yeah, the Switch case I was super stoked about. I would like to do more 3D print stuff, but I really enjoy the comic stuff. So, you know, eventually I'd like to make creative videos every once in a while. And I'm trying to kind of find time to do that. This is actually the room that I record everything in. Obviously, here's the shelf, but I've been here all day just trying to clean. I just got a new dresser, and I got my little. I just got this new shelf or whatever. It just got my clothes and stuff. This is just an upstairs room in my house. Here's a bunch of Stephen King books. I pretty much have every single one of them at this point, but yep, I've always been super into art and stuff. I don't do woodworking. I do like to make boxes. I'll show you this really bad stand. I'm actually placing my phone on this, but this is a chessboard that I also made completely by myself. The top is epoxy and things like that, but I've always been really into drawing, and then I started playing guitar, and then I got really into 3D printing and making cool decorative boxes and things like that. And it's a lot of fun. We have a good time. Here's another 3D print that I did. This is actually like a tarot case box. I made these for my buddies to put their D&D stuff in, but this is another one that I really thought turned out very cool. Yep. I'm always doing some form of art or whatever. You know, it changes. I do what I can. And I appreciate you guys for enjoying basically whatever I put out. You know, there's that time I took a month off and I just played a ton of Yu-Gi-Oh! Just like way too much Yu-Gi-Oh! And so that month off I hung out with friends for a lot, and we played so much fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Too much. I went to these garage sales and I found these epic Yu-Gi-Oh! Finds. So these are binders and binders of cards and cards. All these boxes are filled with Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, and this cardboard box right there also filled with Yu-Gi-Oh! But yeah, now I've kind of lost touch with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Side of things, and yep, it's just been, you know, I played it last night. I'm not as into it as I was, but it was a fun pastime. What up, Sleazy Juan? What up, dude? I'm seeing 16 people in here, guys. That's crazy. A lot of Lola Ryland. What's up? Eventually we're going to tear apart this bookcase if I can get to it and I can stop talking. That is a box, Sleazy Juan. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, yes, it's a very headache-inducing game. Basically that month off, I created a couple decks, and since then, I've not had the time to sit down and make another deck because to go through all these Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I would literally need to take like a couple days and just sit up here in my room, and it's just too much time, and I can't be bothered at this point. I like playing it, but I don't have enough interest to sit down and go through the thousands of cards I have to make a functioning deck. How am I, Lola Ryland? I'm doing really good. You know, it's been a good day. Me and my girlfriend have been kind of cleaning the house, rearranged some things, and now I've kind of made it up here to my brain room where I do all my videos. Now I'm just trying to kind of organize this thing. Just chilling out with you guys. Show you more boxes. Oh, cool. Thank you, Lawler Island. I appreciate the subscriber. Hopefully, I'm really hoping tonight we're going to hit 1,500. My last Hellraiser video did very well. It's been a long time since I had a video actually almost hit 1,000 views or whatever. And I think that's absolutely dope. I'm excited for Christmas. And I did see you subscribe, Lola, and I really appreciate that. I do like Christmas. It's a little bit hard for me because I have so many different ones to go to. My parents live like 3 hours away. My girlfriend's grandparents do a Christmas. My grandma does a Christmas. My aunt and uncles do their own Christmas. So it's like, it's hard to pick and choose who I'm gonna see. But you wanna see another box? There's actually a video on this one that I'm going to show you as well. Yeah, man, 18 people, that's pretty cool. If you guys want to share, I wouldn't be opposed. Like I said, we're just going to talk. So the people who do know this channel, I think you'll enjoy what we're doing today. But I think newcomers that are going to come here are going to be like, you know, what the fuck is actually going on? What up, Kratos? And Jimmy Jamie, what up? I'm doing very good. Basically... Yes, the run around of the holidays is very exhausting. And yes, everybody, I'm doing very good. I'm trying to rip apart this bookshelf, but I'm just so infatuated with you all. Thank you. Yep, I've been growing this hair for 27 years, trying to keep it soft, but when you work with concrete, it's very hard to do. Your mom, what up? Are you my mom? Are you somebody else's mom? My little brother likes to tell me that my mom likes eggs. He says that this is not an insult, but simply a fact, because everybody likes eggs, apparently. Anyways, I'm going to show you one more box, and then I'm going to start tearing this thing down. So I got some Junji Ito sitting on this thing. This is my last Saint Sinner video that we did. This thing is very old. But that's the one I did. The Twilight Zone magazine that I'm always reading out of and doing these wacky stories and things. You are my mom. Okay, I'm literally trying to clean my room right now. Are you single? Sleazy Juan, I don't know if I'm willing to have you be my stepdad, bro. I don't think I can allow that. Here's actually that weird Star Wars comic. I did a video on this as well. It came with like a toy or whatever. And safe to say, it sucks. But let's go ahead and pull this mamma jamma out. So Sleazy Juan, you wanted to see another box that I made. I made this thing. I believe this is the first video that I posted on this channel, was the creating of this box. It wasn't very well shot, but it's something that I really had a vision for. So this thing is essentially, this is based off the game Undertale, a game that I really enjoyed, because back in the day, I used to do a Let's Play channel called Bront when I was in high school and a little after high school, and somebody actually bought me the game Undertale, and that kind of meant a lot for me to actually see somebody who wanted to watch me do something on the internet. I thought it was really cool, but everything on here is designed by me. These are 3D printed corners, 3D printed heart, 3D printed Undertale symbol or Deltarune, and yeah, it turned out pretty cool. It's got like a purple stain on it, things like that, but it's another creation of mine that I really enjoyed. Oh my god. Alright, so we got a lot of cobwebs. I don't know if I'll be using cobwebs next year. Let me quick read a couple more of these. That is From the Heart. Yep. I wanted to make a bunch of things from the heart, whether that's like telling stories or making cool little inventions and things. 1 second, Grouper. I lost your comment. What up, Tannen? Loved his axe. Yes, the Undertale. Friends were who we made along the way. Bad dad joke for me? No, it's not a bad one. And Grouper, yeah, my girlfriend is pretty down with me reading these comics and things like that, doing these videos. She's actually now in graphic design, so she kind of does a lot of things like that. She's more into like making posters and graphics and things like that. But yeah, since I met her, I think she came. I think she liked me a lot in the first place because I was very creative doing these custom boxes and my 3D prints. But my version of art, this person that I am that is art, it's always changing, always going and whatnot. I think there was definitely a point at the beginning of this channel when I was editing every single day for like hours at a time. Yeah, she was probably getting a little annoyed. But other than that, yeah, she actually she watches some of the videos. She reads your guys' comments. There's been a few times where I've gotten a couple mean comments and she wanted to comment back to them, but I told her not to. You know, I'm done with anybody who watches this channel, whether you like the videos or not. Any kind of feedback is very useful, and I do try to take that as much as I can. Okay, switch my phone. Didn't watch, bro. The other day on live vid, kept stopping like every 30 seconds. It is Blurred Lo-Fi, yeah. I've been talking to Blurred quite a bit. He actually gave me permission to use his music in my videos. Blurred is a really cool person, and he actually made me a mod of their live streams, which is very interesting. But it's very cool. I've actually kind of been trying to make friends with a lot of lo-fi artists on YouTube and things like that because I really enjoy their music. When I sit down and edit, that's what I'm listening to is hours of lo-fi. It's just the only thing because I can't really watch like YouTube or TV shows while I edit. I need to pay attention to what's going on. Yeah, yep. It's YouTube, man, and I feel like if you fight people, if you get mad at like bad feedback and stuff, you're really just painting yourself as a target. I've been a consumer of YouTube and internet culture for a long time, and at this point, I realize what exactly makes you a lolcow, what makes people want to come out and attack you, and if you're gonna post, I mean, there's a billion people in the world. If you're gonna post videos, especially of me sitting in here talking about comments, I mean, there's bound to be one or two people that don't really like it, and it's not a big deal. And yes, the lo-fi community is extremely chill, extremely, and that's probably because they're all listening to lo-fi. Yeah, yep, Major Gruber. I never really feed into it, man. And honestly, sometimes I just, I'll actually like thank people or I'll talk to them and things like that. If people are mad at me ever, I just try to talk to them or otherwise I'll just tell them, thanks for the feedback and just let things slide. But we need to tear this shelf down. I'm trying to get to it. It's going to take me absolutely forever to rip all this stupid cobwebs down. So, bam, cobweb, Shazam. Alright, that's one cobweb down. I'm really sad that I actually put it on all my plants and things like that. But it was cool for a couple videos. I was really hoping to get my Halloween video out and have this thing look all crazy. I got this like light up pumpkin that was gonna sit right here and everything, but hard drive died. Video gone. So give me 1 second, guys. Let me finish tearing off all these cobwebs, and I'll come back and read your comments and stuff. Oh my lord! Oh my god! I don't know what that was. I'm getting excited seeing everybody here. Kratos. I'm in the place of the cobwebs. I don't know. Pretty much every season change since I started this channel. I've been trying to go to like Hobby Lobby and find according fake plants. So maybe we'll find something like some frosted plants or something like that. Two cobweb. Yep. Complain. No one will listen. And print. No, nobody's making videos on me, man. I'm far too small of a channel. But honestly, I do appreciate that. I just appreciate you guys who come here and watch the things that I do. Looks like the laptop died. 1 minute, everybody. There we go. Music is back. Halloween came and went so fast. Yeah, it did, man. And I feel like I pre-Halloween, like it hit September, and I started listening to all my favorite books, watch all my favorite horror movies. And by the time October 30th and 31st came around, I was just like, damn, I've already experienced Halloween at its full extent. Good to hear. I'm the Hellraiser guy. Yeah, you could say I'm the Hellraiser guy. It was definitely my video that really pushed this channel. Obviously, I do like doing Hellraiser, but I really want to also do other things. I don't want to be boxed into a Hellraiser corner as much as I love the series, especially when it comes to the comic books, but I don't want to become the official Hellraiser guy that only talks about Hellraiser, because there's so many good stories, man. So many. I did wean myself out of Halloween. Listening to some Lovecraft as of late, The Hunter, in the dark, I don't know. I really enjoy SCPs too. Gruber, I love creepypasta stuff. A lot of it sucks, but for some reason, man, I just absolutely love it. There's actually a missing episode that I never posted where I read a bunch of creepypastas, but apparently now they're copyrighted, and I just didn't want to mess with it. All right, you know. Maybe we can kind of push this thing back a little bit, and you guys can see more. Okay, no joke, the Hellraiser vid is how I found you. There's not on the basic channel specifically. Yep, like I said, I love Hellraiser, and I'm gonna continue the cover definitely, because there's some really fun stories in there, but you know, we like to mix it up. I've been waiting to cover Die Dark and things like that. There's so many things that I want to cover, everybody, but when the books are this thick, it gets a little daunting making the video, so I really gotta like hype myself up and really be in the mood, because otherwise the video's not that great. Can't go wrong with Stephen King. Love Pet Cemetery and the whole Wendigo poisoning the earth bit. Yeah, man, I've loved Stephen King since I was in high school. It wasn't until like 2 or 3 years ago that I even really found out about Clive Barker. I've always seen Hellraiser and stuff since I was a kid, but I never experienced his books. And I gotta say, over the two, I don't know if I could really pick, but I want to also preface that Clive Barker is known as a horror guy, but when it comes to things like Magica and Secret Show in the Sky, I mean, this man can hit everything, whether it's fantasy, romance, horror. Clive Barker he's a really good writer and somebody I highly respect. Hopefully you guys can see a little bit more. Here's another little hidden 3D print that you've probably never seen in the videos. This is actually a knife that I found in D&D, and then I actually went ahead and 3D printed it, made it, and painted it. But yeah, it's pretty cool. No problem, print. Do whatever you gotta need to do. And yeah, I won't burn myself out. I've recently just stuck to a plan where I just record a video on the weekend. Then for the rest of the weekend, I just kind of enjoy myself. And then once the week hits, I start editing, because back in the day, I just editing every single day of my life with all my free time. And yeah, I was getting close to that, but I've kind of found a way to circumvent that. His Nightbreed comics, I don't think I've actually covered those yet, Grouper, but I do have them, and at some point I will cover them. It's just a matter of when. I still gotta do the next big Swamp Thing arc that just goes so hard, but that's another like hour-long video. Those things take so long, so like I said, I gotta hype myself up. But we only got a little bit more cobwebs to go, everybody. And then we're gonna start ripping books off the shelf. Put the plant back in here. Just down yonder. This is the Siren Head that I actually 3D printed. He turned out pretty cool. What's everybody saying? Remind me of the people I hang out with. Yeah. Really, in real life, Tanner loved his ex. I'm a pretty quiet, solitude dude, but yeah, I get excited when I see everybody pouring in and actually talk to me and stuff. Nightbreed is the movie. Yeah, Nightbreed's pretty goofy. The book Cabal that it's based off of is very good, but I do very much like the movie as well. Probably just the nostalgia. And yeah, the movie adaptation, I definitely feel that, man. I feel like there's only a couple good Stephen King movies as well, and then the rest, it's like, how could you possibly greenlight these things? Especially when the Dark Tower movie came out. Man, that is a series that really meant something to me. I spent so many hours at night, like cleaning and listening to those books, and to see what they did with the movie is absolutely tragic. Something that could have been just as big as Lord of the Rings if it was actually done right. Yep, very true, Tannen. What's everybody doing at your own houses? How's your guys' weekend been? Whoa. I'm just finding more and more cobwebs. It doesn't seem to stop. Buying these stupid cobwebs is probably the worst decision I've ever made. I think. Yeah, King ending, at least the movie version. Yeah, that's the thing. I love Stephen King, but a lot of it gets pretty messed up when it comes to the movies. But Pet Sematary was great. Dolores Claiborne, which I don't think anybody has seen, is a movie that I absolutely love. Roommate. Oh, Dia Gruber, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I've been in those situations, dude. And it's truly a breath of fresh air when you actually get away from the people that are hindering you. I went through that for a very, very long time. And it's definitely worth it to make yourself happy and make that move, as hard as that can be. So, I'm going to turn you guys. Okay, so I'm going to start pulling books. I need to start making piles on the floor of different genres and different franchises and things like that. It is all consuming, you are right. So, Creepshow. We got Red Room, which I haven't finished yet because it is really, really messed up. Hellraiser. Batman the World. So, we're going to go over Hellraiser, Batman stuff, and we can just throw Creepshow in with the horror stuff because there isn't really enough there to make its own category. We have Edgar Allan Poe, which I still want to do some more stories on. Really bad, but we'll go ahead. Horror pile. We have Spawn Gunslinger that I still need to start reading. I'll put that in its own pile because I have a ton of Spawn stuff. Constantine Hellblazer, which is amazing, man. Jerry Stories, you guys have probably seen him in the comments. He's a person I talk a lot about in my videos. He actually recommended that I read that, and I was overwhelmed, man. I've never read any Vertigo Constantine until this, and it absolutely blew my mind. I really love traditional Constantine. It's very gritty. He has some messed up storylines, man, but Constantine is dope. It's so good. We have some Jeff Lemire this nice hardcover. I have not yet finished this, about halfway through it, and I'm really enjoying that as well. Mess with King's son, Joe Hill. I think, Rupert, you would have to name a few things that his son has done for me to actually know, because I don't actively follow him. Still 6 people on the live. Everybody who's watching, thank you so much. So we're going to put Constantine in his own pile as well. I wish I had multiple cameras so you guys could actually see this stuff, but we're also going to be putting Jeff Lemire in his own column. These ones are my pride and joy. We have Swamp Thing Absolute, and we have the traditional Swamp Thing, which is the whole series from Alan Moore. These are all regular, original artwork and things like that, and the big Absolute one is all reshaded, recolored. Also very good. Cool to see it in such a big book. Some of the art, I think, isn't quite as gritty as what's in here, but yeah, my girlfriend actually got me this for my birthday last year, and I was absolutely stoked. But we're definitely putting Swamp Thing in his own column. Oh, no way. I know Joe Hill. Okay. Does he make Hill comics? Is that his thing? I've watched the show Lock and Key. My girlfriend absolutely loves that show. I wanted to kind of read the comics myself because I did find the show pretty good, but she watches series so fast, and I'm constantly working, and we both kind of work different shifts. So, like right now, she's watching Naruto. So every day I'm on a new season, and I have no idea what the fuck's going on. Work like demonic presence at play. For example, again in Pet Cemetery, the truck driver that runs the kid over is being frightened. Yep, yeah. And Sleazy Juan, what did you think of the new Pet Cemetery, man? I thought it wasn't quite as good. But if you're going to make a remake, I did appreciate them actually throwing a curveball and changing the deaths. Yeah, I would very much like to see some Wendigo stuff. I don't think I've ever read anything good with the Wendigo. I recently watched this horror movie that was kind of about the Wendigo. It was okay. I think it was called Antlers or something like that. So we got some more Batman stuff. This is very old. It's just a bunch of his like old original comics and things like that. To be honest, I've not read a thing out of here because I don't really care too much for very, very old comics. They're fun to read sometimes, but I think we've really come into the age since the 80s and 90s and obviously this century as well, where we're really picking up on creating good stories. But safe to say, oh, and this is the hardcover box for Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, which I still also need to finish. So we will put these in the Batman section. This. This is something that I bought for over $100. This is a very rare run of Silent Hill where it's actually all compelled into an omnibus. I brought this thing to work, and I always bring books to work. I put them in my back seat. One of my laborers wanted to go to the gas station with me, and he didn't seem to know that his pants were soaking wet, and he also didn't seem to know that he was sitting directly on top of this thing. Probably my fault for even bringing it out, but man, dude, it's still very readable, but it's just not the same as owning it when it was completely crisp. Green Hell is actually finished. I actually have all of them. I did finish it. Maybe I'll do another video on that soon, but it wasn't anything that I thought was super too crazy, especially for a Jeff Lemire story. So, but yeah, I mean, if you guys really want to see that, I can't promise anything. I'm very bad at making promises. Sometimes when I record, the words just don't come, and I have to move on to the next thing. Yeah, they are getting rejuvenated. Wait for his son's body to come back from the war. Let's see. I think I'm missing something, Sleazy. Oh yeah, Silent Hill, extremely sad that it got damaged, but at least this thing's readable. And it's actually very good, very creepy, and very demented at points, but we're gonna throw this in the horror pile. So, what I have here is I'm missing one book because it recently just came out with the Deceased series. I wouldn't say it's absolutely fantastic, but it is a really fun read. I liked it a lot. My dad got me one for Christmas, and then after that, I read each and every book, basically day after day, ordering them off Amazon and just absolutely consuming these things. Like I said, the stories, because there's so many characters, it's not quite fleshed out for everybody, but nonetheless, the Deceased franchise, extremely fun. Highly recommend. I know some people don't like it, but I thought it was very fun. But we're going to throw that in the DC section of books, which we will set right here next to Batman. Right here in the Discord, you guys were recently talking about Stephen King, and as much as I like the Dark Tower series, I had to get the actual comic book, which this was actually done through Marvel, which I was very surprised by. But it's really cool. When you take off the dust cover, it's got this neat like leather case and stuff, and yeah, really, really cool. I have 2 out of the whole series. I was recently going to buy every one of them in this giant mega book that I was seeing on Facebook from some lady in Marketplace. I didn't end up getting it though. But we're gonna put that in its very own thing, I think. I found some Batman Cult comics. No way, Grouper. I hope you picked those things up, dude. If it was a complete run, those are getting very hard to find. There's a completed omnibus version that I've been looking at on Mercury, but they want like $100 or something. But I've yet to read it, but I really want to read it. So, Grouper, sell me those comic books. Okay, we have The Batman Who Laughs. Another thing that I really enjoyed. I don't think it was totally as fleshed out as it could be, but yet another very fun ride. The Batman Who Laughs. Very cool, very interesting. Batman evil, Batman bad. In the Batman column. Okay, just join the Discord. Oh, cool, Kratos. Yeah, we've been having some fun over there. I'm sure everybody will wave hello to you. I'm on there like every day. I try to check it every time that I can. So, hope you enjoy. Hope you kind of meet some cool people there. Yeah, I could Tannen, yep, I could definitely see the Batman Who Laughs being a very love or hate because, like I said, it's not perfect. But I don't know. When it comes to comics, I just like reading weird things. All right, I love, I hear Batman bad, and I'm like, I want to see that. I need to see that. No way, Grouper. That's awesome, man. You should definitely read those and let me know how those are because I have no idea what they're even about. I can't imagine it's about the Court of Owls because there's already that thing going on, but I'm very interested to know what those are actually about. Next up, we have Birth of the Demon Batman. We have Batman Bride of the Demon. There's another one of these books. I know it's on this shelf, but they all go together. But I found these on eBay, and they're actually very cool. I could not explain the whole story to you right now, but it is one that I've been enjoying. I've read the first book, half of the second. Need to finish the rest. But we're gonna throw those in the Batman column. What you guys got? New season of Invincible yet? No, dude. I've been trying to watch that show for like a year, but I just haven't had time, and my girlfriend's not super into it either, so I basically got to watch it by myself, and when I'm by myself, I'm doing things like this, or making the videos, editing the videos, or recently getting back into gaming, but I will, because of you, Sleazy, I'll watch some of it very soon here, or actually get the comic, because I've been wanting to read it, but I've actually heard that the new season, the first episode, was very good. Right here we have Batman versus Vampires. I found this one to be also a very fun ride. I could see how people wouldn't like it. This one's actually done by James Tynion, a man that I very much appreciate. James Tynion is awesome. But I recently got the second volume, and I don't know if it was just because of the span in time until that one came out, but I was not super into the second volume. But I do think that this one is very fun. But this will go into the kind of deceased pile. Watch the Boondocks. Yeah, Boondocks is kind of a, there's some stuff in there that kind of makes people raise their eyebrows. But I've watched the Boondocks since I was little. I don't think it's like the worst thing in the world. Batman Reptilian. This thing is super dope, man. It's by Garth Ennis of The Boys, of Constantine, all these different things. Sleazy, I believe you and Sky were talking in Discord about, I can't remember, some really messed up Apocalypse one, but Batman Reptilian, the artwork in this thing is absolutely insane. Let me quick see if I can show you guys a couple pages out of this thing. Yeah, but anyways, Batman Reptilian, super dope. Let's see what Rupert said. Reptile, nope, it's actually about Reptile rather than Batman, and it's really good. I don't know if you read it yet, but highly recommend, and it's pretty cheap as well. And Rupert, that's dope, dude. You gotta find that first issue, man, and you gotta tell me how that series is. So we're gonna pull 3 off here. Clementine, a lot of people weren't into. I've played all the Walking Dead Telltale games, and I absolutely love this book. I thought it had a lot of charm. A lot of people think it didn't really resonate with who the character Clementine is, but if you played the game, man, Clementine has been through a lot, and it's only reasonable that eventually she would become very sad and depressed. At least what I think. But yeah, Clementine, based in the Walking Dead universe. This is something that I absolutely loved, and I can't wait for the next one to come out. And we will go ahead and throw this, I suppose, in the horror section. Now, another Telltale series, or Fables, the comic book series, Batman vs. Bigby, The Wolf Among Us. This thing was also very neat, very cool. The art in it is very colorful, very vivid and things. And I thought this was also a really cool idea. Batman actually runs an academy in this where Robins are training other Robins and stuff like that. But very neat, very cool crossover, I thought. Well, obviously, going in the Batman pile. Right here we have Alan Moore's Hypothetical Lizard. Now this is one of the weirdest Alan Moore things that I've really read. All right, it's kind of about prostitutes who are bred to eventually work with freelance with wizards and things like that. Like, some of them have all their senses basically ripped out, so they can't tell. I guess when wizards climax, they kind of let out their most deepest and darkest secrets. So some people have to have their voice boxes removed. But very dark, but also extremely interesting. I love Alan Moore. The dude is such a character. We're gonna put this over by the Swamp Thing stuff because Alan Moore. A close friend gave me his hardcover, The Complete Frank Miller Batman, years ago, and I never read through it, but this stream has made me want to start tonight. Yeah, dude, Frank Miller has some really cool Batman stuff, and I very highly recommend that you check it out. If it's like, I think it's year 1, is that a Frank Miller story? I'm not quite sure, but you should check it out. If it has Batman and Spawn in it, definitely check that one out too. Very goofy, very weird, but something I do really enjoy. Fable crossover, I would definitely like to, Sleazy. So, I'm gonna try. But like I said, I can never promise that I'm going to do a certain story. But it's definitely something that is on my list. The Ussery fam. What is up, the Ussery fam? And thank you so much for joining my live. We're just kind of tearing apart my bookshelf and organizing things. This is a weird thing to come back to. What is the shelf being ripped apart, Kratos? Yeah, it's pretty different. It's been a very long time since I've went through this and actually like looked and gushed about all my books and things like that. Um, but yeah, Sleazy. If I don't cover it, I do recommend that you read it. I would like to. Maybe someday. The wizard climaxing thing. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I was talking about Alan Moore's hypothetical lizards. So this is about prostitutes that essentially are made for wizards. It's a very strange story, and I do recommend it. That's actually an adaptation of a short story that Alan Moore made, and it's very neat, very cool. Oh, I found the other book to that Batman trilogy I was talking about. This kind of goes up through Bruce Wayne meeting Ra's al Ghul, actually being rebirthed in his regenerative pit or whatever, and actually goes through Talia Ra's al Ghul actually becoming pregnant with this bad boy's baby, Damien. See you later, Kratos. Thank you so much for sitting here and hanging out with us, dude. I appreciate it. Going to put that in Batman. We have the Black Sinister. Now, this is like if Batman was a complete narcissistic asshole. This was one of my very first videos that I ever did. You should definitely, if you haven't seen the video, go check it out. It's a fun one. It's old. It was kind of right before I started to get my style and things like that. But Black Sinister, this is like one of my first reads when I started getting into comic books, and I really enjoyed this thing. I don't know where to put it though. Maybe we should start a pile for like I don't know, like weird indie comics. Let's do that. Let's get into this. So I think I'll go ahead and put Clementine in there too. We have Primordial, which is another Jeff Lemire comic book that I did enjoy, but honestly, sometimes Jeff Lemire, I feel like he kind of goes for an attitude of like the great unknown, kind of like Lovecraftian, where it's like too much to comprehend. So there's some very interesting things in this, but the ending I was not a huge fan of. But it's not always about enjoying the ending, I think. I think as long as you kind of enjoy the ride through it, sometimes that's just good enough. But we're going to be putting that in the Jeff Lemire stack. And I'll quick show you guys what we have so far here on the ground. Let me quick turn my camera. There we go. Got lots going on in here. Hellraiser, Stephen King, Hellraiser. But yeah, that's what we've got so far. So I'll place that there. I'm gonna get a drink of water, guys. I will be right back. Nightbreed issues. Very cool, dude. Those are also kind of getting hard to find. Yeah, check them out. Let me know in the Discord what you think of them. Really? Yeah, I've never even looked at the art for Batman Cult, but I'm gonna have to hunt that fucking thing down because I want it so bad. Grouper, also, by the way, we were talking in the Discord about maybe you getting like a console or computer. I just wanted to show you this. It's not the best laptop in the world, but this is what I got. It was about $600, and it plays just about everything. It's basically a Cold War Zombies machine for me to play, but this is an Asus TUF. I think it's the cheapest model or something, but I thought I'd just show you that because we were discussing it in the Discord. Let's continue our journey through tearing this thing down. Let's have us another 4 comic books. Okay, so we have The Darkness. This is also by Garth Ennis, I want to say. Yep, it is an Ennis comic book. You've probably played the video games. The video games are very cool, and it's one of the few times where I thought that the video game adaptation was better than the comic series. This thing is very 90s, it's very ridiculous, and I think the video games go for more of an emotional element throughout it. And but yeah, nonetheless, I also enjoyed The Darkness. I thought it was very cool. We'll go ahead, throw that into horror. We have last year's release of both of the old classic Batman and Spawn comic books and things like that. You can get this hardcover for pretty cheap. It's something that I cherish because I've had those since I was probably literally like 4 years old. All right, I love Batman and Spawn. As wacky as it is, and as much as I didn't really care for the 2022 one, but we'll talk about that later when we get to those. But yeah, it's Batman and Spawn. Really dug that as well. I don't know where to put it, so I think once we put the books back on the shelf, we'll put Batman and Spawn next to each other with their child next to them. Next we have Demons. This one I never finished. I did get about 3/4 of the way through, and I really liked it. All right, it's very strange. It's about a call to hunt down demons, and also angels are bad. Very, very cliche thing. Yeah. So we'll just go ahead, put this right into the horror pile. Thumbs, this is also a very cool book, one that I also highly recommend. It's kind of about if Facebook was kind of training kids to be international spies. It's very neat. It's very hard to kind of actually explain what it's about, but Thumbs, very cool. Also very cheap. I think it was like $12 or something like that. And I don't really know where to put this, so we're going to set it aside. Now, Sleazy Juan, if you're in here, we have Army of Darkness, another one. Obviously, Evil Dead. I didn't finish it all the way through, but I wasn't feeling it. I'm sorry. Oh boy, what have I done? Okay, so we're gonna go through another set of these. It looks like nobody's in here, but just for the sake, if anybody comes back and watches this live, we have the original Batman and Spawn War Devils. Now this one, I actually really enjoyed. It was very wacky, but at the same time, extremely fun. Put this back into its case. Batman War Devils. Next up, we have Swamp Thing Green Hell. One of you guys was just talking about this. We need to find the rest of them and put them together. But we'll put this in the Swamp Thing pile. Once again, we have Return of the Living Deadpool. I have yet to read this because it's the second one, but I found it at this place in Michigan called Ollie's, and they like buy the back stock of a lot of different places. So this thing was like $2 or $4.99 or something, but I've heard that it's decent. And I guess we'll go ahead and start its own pile. Another thing that, oh man, a little nostalgia for the channel. So first, we have Layla Starr, one of my very first videos. A story that wasn't the craziest, but was also very sweet, and something that I did enjoy. Next up, we have Genesis, which was one of my all-time favorite videos that I've ever done, and also a story that I really respect. I thought it was very cool. It's about a man who he falls, hits his head, and he basically, whatever he thinks, happens. And it's basically a story about how if you had the power to create anything that comes to mind, that you would actually have absolutely no control over it. It's very short, but it's very good. Next up, we have Bliss, another one that I did a video on a long time ago. And this is also a very heart-touching story about a society where they sell a drug that allows you to kind of forget all the bad things that you've done. And it's also, another really good comic book. Transformers versus Terminator, bro. This thing it sucks. But nonetheless, it's a fun read. And it's another one that I also have have a video on. Another copy of Layla Starr, because the first one that I got had a tear in it somewheres. Okay, I see it. It's up here somewhere. But I told Amazon that I was really angry, and they sent me one for free. So maybe we need to start a pile for like weird, heart-touching stories. But I think we're going to go things that don't obviously have a category, and we'll just keep them all kind of in one place with Black Sinister. I think we'll stick Thumbs in the same pile of like weird indie comic books and things like that. Set that down. Oh, we got 2 more people back. What's up, everybody? I'm not sure who's still here, but appreciate you anyways. The shelf is starting to get empty. Okay, so we're gonna go big. All right, here we go. We got this big old stack. Man, I draw, but nowhere near the expertise of the artist of these comics. Although I see my drawings catching attention is style. Yeah, Grouper. I feel like I'm so into different art styles when it comes to comic books and things like that. So, you're probably better than you think you are, man. I think, especially with me, because my videos take so long to make, that sometimes I stare at them for too long, and I think they're really bad until I finally put the music in and really put on the touches and kind of upload it, and then I get to watch it with you guys, and I'm very satisfied. But I'd be interested to see your art, man. You should post some in the Discord so we can all check that out. Here we have a book called Here's Negan, another one that I have a video on. Fun read, not very good story, not what I wanted out of a Negan origin story, like, whatsoever. But, cool. Now we have 2 Walking Dead comics. Next up, we have Stephen King's The Dark Tower, The Drawing of the Three. Now this one is very unheard of. Not a lot of people know it exists. They actually have like 4 or 5 of these, but they're backstories for some of the Stephen King characters. And this one specifically is for Eddie, where we actually get to see him growing up throughout his childhood. We get to meet his brother a little more. And it's not the best thing in the world, but also, a good read, especially if you like The Dark Tower and can't get enough of it. With the Dark Tower stuff. Now, we have these 2. I'm not a big Ninja Turtles reader, and to be completely honest with you guys, these are the only 2 Ninja Turtle comic books I've ever read. But Ninja Turtles Last Ronin, overall, story is absolutely fantastic. I've never really cared too much about the Foot Clan, but I do like them. Not the Foot Clan. I love the story of this. It's incredibly sad, and I don't want to spoil it, because if you guys have never read it, it's definitely one that you need to. Now this, The Last Ronin, The Lost Days, sucks. I was not into it whatsoever. I think it could have been a lot more emotional. I think The Last Ronin needs to be an emotional story, and it's just, it didn't really go anywhere that I thought was very good, alright? I don't really care about the Foot Clan. I want to know more about the emotional side of the Turtles and things like that. But we're going to go ahead, put that in its own pile. This is the second comic book that I ever bought in my adult age, The Three Jokers, something that I've also very much enjoyed. I think it has some cool artwork. I think it's a cool story about the Joker, creating more Jokers, create the ultimate Joker. And yeah, this is one that I really liked that I never actually ended up getting to do a video on. So maybe later in the future. But we're going to put this in its own pile until we put things back on the shelf so we can put all my Batman with the Joker stuff. We have Brian Azzarello's Joker, which a lot of people hate, and I've yet to read it, hence why it's still in the plastic. Actually, I found a deal online where I got 2 brand new ones of these for $10, so I left one in the plastic just for fun. Harley Quinn. This is one that I actually very much enjoyed. It's a little bit kind of like, it's a little fanficky, alright? But it's actually, it's about Harley Quinn, how she got the Joker and things like that. And I actually really like this one. So we'll go ahead. We're going to put that in the Joker pile. This is a book that I've read over and over and over. And I'm talking about the real book. But what I hold in my hands is George Orwell's 1984. It's the entire book, but with pictures. It's very depressing. I will say that. Extremely depressing. the one that I really like. All right, I love the story 1984. I know it's a little cliche. Everybody's read 1984 by George Orwell, but it is nonetheless one that I really like. We're gonna go ahead and kind of put that in the indie pile of things. I'm getting tired from talking so much. Okay, so with the next, we have It's a Bird. This is actually a Superman story about a man who gets the chance to finally write a Superman story. And that's all I really have to say about it, but it is very good. Nameless. This is a sci-fi story that is very fucked up, but it is nonetheless also very good. It's about an asteroid coming to Earth, and what the asteroid actually is God coming to wreak havoc upon the human race. It is really gory, it is really demented, really depraved, and it's something that I did enjoy. My girlfriend actually picked this off a shelf and told me I should read it. She's never read it, but she thought the artwork was cool. By the time I was done with it, I was like, Jesus Christ. Next up, we have The Boys, the very first comic book that I bought in my adult age. I absolutely love these. I think it's an incredibly fun story, and something that I definitely highly recommend. Maybe we can start a pile that is like just Ennis stuff. But I don't think that's going to work because he has too many franchises. Bliss, Genesis, this is also going in the kind of niche pile. I think we'll put that pile in the niche. Ooh! We're finally getting over to the other side of things. We'll just start at the end here. Another big stack. What we have here is Bad Boy. Now this is a story by Frank Miller that I also thought was very interesting. It's kind of about this young man who was trapped in a simulation essentially and is trying to make his way out of it. He's actually a man being forced into this kid's body, and it's very strange. It's something that I think will definitely fit my channel's aesthetic, and it's something that I do plan to cover pretty soon here. We're gonna go ahead and put that in the indie pile. Now this is just one of many, but James Tynion, The Truth Department, I find to be absolutely amazing. A must read for any modern day comic. This thing is basically about a secret society of the government that is forced to kind of go out and stop conspiracy theories because in this world, say too many people believe in flat earth, it will literally manifest and make the earth flat. And it goes down some really dark paths through like the 80s satanic panic and things like that. Mothman, the Men in Black, all sorts of different things. And it is extremely good. So maybe we need to start a Tynion pile. Bro, you got so many collections. Dang, get it, bro. Constantine is an amazing character. Constantine is absolutely dope print, and if you've never read any of his old Vertigo stuff, man, you ain't seen nothing about Constantine. All right, Batman, One Bad Day. This is a franchise that just started last year, I think. This is the only one that I read, but this thing goes hard, all right? It's basically Batman the Killing Joke, but with all the different villains getting their own little story. And this thing is nuts. Basically where the Riddler decides that, you know, Batman's never going to kill me, so I'm just going to start killing everybody in the town. I'm going to take over, and if Batman even comes close to me and even tries to touch me, I'm just going to kill another innocent life. And Batman essentially loses his mind, and maybe or maybe doesn't break his main rule. We got some more Constantine. This is Haunted, a very demented story. All I can say is at the end of it, Constantine finds a murderer, grabs one of his murder victims, this young woman that he murdered, and he puts them both in a box and then shoves like 20 tabs of acid down this man's mouth and basically lets him deal with his consequences. Oh, Jerry, what up? Remember the Satanic Panic fondly. Do you really? Could you maybe tell us some things about it? Jerry, I was actually just telling everybody about some Constantine stuff, and that would be pretty cool print if Constantine was an inspiration for Harry Demore or whatever from Hellraiser. I could definitely see that. I definitely think the angel from the show Supernatural is heavily inspired by it, but I'm not a huge Supernatural guy. I do have stacks on stacks on stacks, and I shouldn't, but I do, and I'm kind of ashamed of it. I've bought way too many comic books. But what's up, Jerry? What we're doing here, we're just taking all this stuff off the shelf, and I'm organizing it because it's getting to a point where it's getting so random that I don't know how to find the books that I actually want to read. And actually, Jerry, we were just talking about Dangerous Habits about an hour ago. So we're starting at Constantine. I just actually ordered a bunch of more. I ordered, Jerry, if you're still here in the chat, I ordered Tainted Love, another one that said I should read it. It said I should read Dangerous Habits, and then one other one before Tainted Love, so I ordered that as well. And I can't remember if Tainted Love is the one that you recommended to me a while ago, but it would be very interesting if you can remember what that book was. I'm trying to get it. Yeah, I do have a local comic shop. I have one that's about 25 minutes away. That's very small, and then there's one in Grand Rapids, Michigan called the Vault of Midnight. And that one I absolutely adore. All right. I usually go in there and I just go to one of the employees and I go, pick me out something that isn't superheroes. And they always find me really cool horror comic books. It's actually how I found out about Nice House on the Lake by James Tynion. Another one that I found absolutely amazing. I'm waiting for the hardcover to come out because I gave the soft covers to a friend for their birthday. Yes, you did recommend Dangerous Habits. I actually was just telling everybody that they've probably seen you in my comments, and that because of you, I have these other Constantine as well as a bunch of other stuff that you've told me that read, Jerry. There's a few more Constantine things up there, and I have 3 more books coming. Tainted Love, Hell Freezes Over, and I cannot remember what the other one was that I just ordered. So next up off the shelf, my Christian school was also panicked about same worship. We were learning from heavy metal music. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I find that stuff wild. My dad's always listened to heavy metal, so it never really affected me much, and I do listen to heavy metal from time to time. I essentially listen to everything besides, like, country. Not that I don't like it, I just don't seek it out, but I'm a fan of all music, and that stuff just blows my mind. My mom and them grew up in a very Christian home, and they weren't allowed to watch things like Harry Potter, Teen Titans, all sorts of different stuff. They weren't allowed to play D&D, which I know is also a huge one. But yeah, I play D&D now, and I listen to metal, and I watch fucking Harry Potter. I do it all. But next off the shelf, we have Stray Dogs. This is actually one that is, the artwork is done by the man who draws My Little Ponies for the show, and it is very messed up. What this is one is about is essentially a serial killer goes around killing all these different ladies, and when they have a dog, he takes them home, and they become his dog, and eventually it plays off of this idea that dogs only have like a 30-second memory before they kind of lose contact, and one by one, these dogs all start remembering who their past owners were, and they start remembering exactly what their new owner did to their past owner, and it is incredible. It's awesome. Stray Dogs, it's a hard read. It's very sad. It's going to make you want to cry, but it's really cool. And the fact that the guy behind My Little Ponies could make a horror comic book, very neat. Yep, D&D, summons demons. It's a very big problem in my house, but we don't care. Very messed up. Yeah, Gruber. I'm very towards. I'm not like actively seeking out murderous comic books, but I just really enjoy horror, and I do really enjoy a very adult story. And demons in my house, Jerry. My house was built in 1905, dude, and it actually used to be a funeral home. But I've never really felt any kind of presence here. This is actually a house in my life that I basically have no worries in, and I've just really enjoyed, other than my furnace, because it is a steam furnace, bro. And there's not a lot of people in Michigan that actually work on steam furnaces, so that part scares me more than the ghosts. We're gonna go ahead and put this in the indie section. Jerry, now that you're here, I do want to show you this. Have you ever read Frank Miller's Bad Boy? It's very short. but it is one that I really liked. Now this one is by Last Podcast on the Left, a podcast that I really enjoy. It can be very depraved. They cover some very bad serial killers and things like that, but they've actually branched off into making their own comic books and such, and I really enjoy this. It's very goofy. Do an episode about it. Yeah, eventually I would like to. Man, I wish I could do an episode about everything in this room, but yeah, I guess I worry a lot about what you guys want to see, and then sometimes I feel like I'm not putting out what you guys want to see, but we're just doing this day by day. I'm a normal dude. And it's tough to pick what I'm going to cover next. But I think I actually will. I've been thinking about it for a while. Tomorrow I'm going to record, and I'm either going to do Whatever Happened to the Masked Crusader by Neil Gaiman. It's a Batman story that I really love. Either that or something else. I'm not quite sure yet. There is not a big invisible pig, Rupert. And I'm almost done with the Amityville Horror book. And I'm really liking it. I got 2 more hours left on it. It's picking up, dude. It's getting really good. Next, we have Spectro. Some of the worst videos on my channel have come from Spectro. Not a lot to say about it. We're just gonna go ahead and throw that in the indie pile. Oh, Tannen, what up, dude? You're back. You thought about doing polls to make it easier for you to decide. I've done that before, but like I said, sometimes when I'm recording videos, I get really pumped up to do one, and then when I sit down, I realize that I don't have enough to say about it, and I want the videos to be very engaging. I want to sound like I know what I'm talking about. So to do a poll, have one win, and then for me to sit down and record it and be like, oh shit, the words aren't coming today. That would suck. But eventually, yeah, I think I would like to do polls. I'm just gonna have to pick 2 things that I really know, and maybe let you guys decide. But we'll see. Like I said, video creation is something that either comes really easy to me, or I really struggle with. But yeah, I'm just trying to be honest. I don't want to promise anything. Like I've told many people, I can't promise I'm gonna cover a certain something, just in case I'm not able to. But next we have Batman Noel. This is by Lee Bermejo. I'm not sure if that's the one who made Batman the Damned, but that was a story that I really enjoyed. And I've been waiting to read this until Christmas time comes around. Next, we have Poison Ivy. I just picked this one up a couple months ago, and I really liked it. It was actually about Poison Ivy trying to take over the earth by growing psilocybin mushrooms inside of people's heads. And it's very, very crazy. And I actually really enjoyed it. It actually features Dr. Woodrue, who is somebody who is in the Swamp Thing series by Alan Moore. So when I seen him, I got very, very excited. But we're going to stick this with Harley Quinn because they're lovers now and they're beautiful. And then Noel will go in. All right, everybody. Let's do a reveal shot real quick of what we got on the floor so far. We still have one side of the shelf to actually I can get through and then put everything back on the shelf. But let's go ahead and do it. Let's see what we got. All right, so we have Swamp Thing stuff, Batman stuff, one of the Hellraisers, horror stuff, Army of Darkness, which wasn't super into. We have a Spawn, Constantine, Jeff Lemire, indie stuff, Tinian, Batman Spawn, The Boys. Too much, and I know it's utter chaos, but we'll figure it out. Mushrooms. Yeah, it's really cool. I've never really read a lot of Poison Ivy, so when I seen it, I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot. And did you know that Neil Gaiman actually invented Poison Ivy? I thought that was very cool, but let me grab that book, so if you do want to grab it, you can pick the right one. So this is Poison Ivy, The Virtuous Cycle. Definitely, if you want to read it, that's what it's called. I'll show you again so you can find it. But I did like it. I thought it was really cool. Okay, over Thanksgiving, I'm finally reading The Bliss you recommended. Also, the young engineers in my office are still phasing around. No way, dude. That's really cool, Jerry. I'm glad they liked it. And I thought you already read Bliss, my friend. But definitely check it out. Let me show you. Bam! Yes, I really enjoyed Bliss, Jerry, and I think you'll like it too. Everybody, I'm gonna go make myself an energy drink. I'm gonna get a glass of water. I've been talking a lot. My jaw's getting a little sore. But just bear with me. Stay right there. I'll be back in like literally a minute, maybe 2 minutes. But I, man, Jerry, I want to ask you what your office even is, but this is YouTube, so feel free not to answer that question. But I'll be right back and I'll read all your guys' questions. So stuff like AOD that you're not into. Do you find people to trade with, or do you keep it just in case you decide? Um, no, I don't. I don't trade with anybody, man. I make enough money in my job to. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. No, I keep everything I buy because even if I don't like it, I do like to read it. I like to experience the story, and I won't even know if I don't like it until I read it. And at that point, I just want to have them. I do give them out to friends sometimes to read, if they will. It's really hard for me to get anybody to read the things that I actually like. Sadly, I don't have a lot of people to actually talk about these stories with. But I keep all my comic books essentially. I'm a very sentimental person, and I really, each one of these books, I can remember the time and place that I read them, what music I was listening to with them, and yeah, I keep them all. Obviously, that's why we have all these ones on the floor so far, and still this side of the shelf to go through. Um, See you later, grouper. Have a good night, and everybody else will be back in like 2 minutes. Just let me grab some water, let me grab an energy drink, and we'll get right back to it. All right, I got G Fuel. I got water. I'm feeling much better now. I'm gonna put them away over here so I don't spill anything on these bugs. 1 minute, wait. Everybody. I don't know if you guys have ever met. This is my little Chihuahua Hoyt. I've had him for 5 or 6 years. This is my little buddy. His breath really stinks. But yeah, this is Hoyt. I don't think anybody's ever met him. Yes, everybody go take a drink of water, and let's continue our journey. I also got my hat because my hair is getting in my face. He is adorable. Yep, he's a good boy. He can be kind of naughty sometimes, but I can actually make him sing. Just, boo, boo. Yeah, he sings. But yeah. So let's get back to it. Let's rip some more stuff off of the shelf. So we're going to make our correct pile. Okay. We have The Hangman. I've yet to read this. It's just another cheap find I found at like a thrift store. It was literally $3, so I was like, I'm gonna get it. Don't know what it's about though. We have Infidel, which is an extremely good story. It's kind of about people being afraid of minorities and things like that, as well as this haunted apartment building. And it's a story that I actually really liked. And it has Campbell. And I'm not sure if Campbell is an artist or a writer, but every book I've ever found with this man's name on it has been absolutely awesome. So we'll go ahead. We're gonna put that into horror. We have Redlands, which I've read a couple pages, but it did not like quite strike my fancy yet. So this actually kind of answers you guys' question before. If I don't like a comic book, usually I just set it aside until I'm like, man, I should read that, and then I figure out whether I like it or not. So we'll go ahead and put Redlands in the horror section, and then right here, also at that thrift store, they were selling these Preacher books by Garth Ennis for like literally $3 a pop. So I grabbed the ones that I could. I've read the first volume and I'm really digging it, but I'm not quite sure where the story's going to go. But it's by Garth Ennis, and I absolutely love Garth Ennis. Let's see if I missed any comments. Okay. Alright, so I don't really know where to put Preacher. I think we'll put that next to the Sandman stuff once we start getting to that. I'll put it next to the Boys, just because they go together. We're making it. We're doing it. Hoyt has left the building. He's going downstairs. He doesn't like hanging up in this upstairs room with me. Sand Plus Bone, very weird story. Not exactly my favorite. It was kind of a fun read. It is about a man who comes back home from the war in Iraq, and he actually found this cave that somehow turned him into a werewolf. Yeah. Very strange. Fun read, I guess. Go ahead. Throw that into horror. Now this is by Warren Ellis, somebody who has created some very good Constantine material. And this is actually about a very old battle in France between the Welsh or something. But it's also very good, and Warren Ellis is somebody who I very highly recommend. Like I said, he did some Constantine stuff until he made a Constantine story about Constantine trying to kind of spread a message about why, I'm not sure if YouTube will allow this, but why like school shootings happen and things like that. And it's a very controversial story, but one that is very interesting. Now, Warren Ellis basically left after DC said they wouldn't publish that story. But yeah, I still own it, so I don't know who ended up publishing that story. But yes, Warren Ellis, very cool. We're going to go ahead and put that into indie titles. The Foulness in the Walls. This is an Aftershock comic. I've covered some of these on my channel, and that's a keeper then. It is a keeper. But yes, Aftershock, they're okay, man. They make some really weird stories. And honestly, the problem with Aftershock is, for me, is that they don't spend enough time actually fleshing their stories out. It's the same problem that I have with a lot of short story horror stuff. Is the plot just happens too fast, and there's not a lot of reason for the monster or whatever's going on to happen. But yes, The Foulness in the Walls, it's okay. It's not the greatest thing in the world, though. Nonetheless, we'll throw that in the horror pile. Now this, one of the most controversial YouTube videos I've done. Something by Jeff Lemire. Something that I did not like. The Passageway. A story that makes no fucking sense. And a lot of people will disagree with me. It's supposed to be a part of a bigger franchise. I've yet to read any of the other ones, but this was the first story. And there's just things that happen that are not explained, that have no really other reason. It feels like it's trying to be very Lovecraftian, but it doesn't have the character development to do such a thing. But we're going to go ahead and throw that over there in the Jeff Lemire pile. Hope Under Fire. This one is very cool. It's actually about World War II and people actually using magic and sorcery and stuff like that. It's a very strange story. It's all black and white. It's very neat though. I do enjoy this one a lot, and I think we're going to go ahead and we'll just throw that in the indie pile. Now, Swamp Thing, here they are finally with their brethren. 1 minute. So, we have the entire collection of Swamp Thing Green Hell. I know a lot of you were kind of talking about this, and it's an alright story. It's not bad. This is also done by Jeff Lemire. But if you've read like Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, it's a very emotional story. It's also very scary and things like that. And I just don't think it hit the nail on the head. It wasn't exactly what I would have liked to see Jeff Lemire do, but it is very interesting nonetheless. We have the end of the world where there's one island left, and Constantine basically has to summon a dead Swamp Thing back again from the grave to save everybody. Next, we have another Aftershock comic, The Dark Red, which is about like vampires and Nazi vampires, and it's a very, very strange story. Kind of fun. Like I said, what I said previously about Aftershock, not always the greatest stories. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to put the Aftershock comics in a separate page. 1 minute, I got to turn this on because I'm not a fan of this one. Okay, I'm back. Oh, which one's Tannen? Are you talking about the passageway? Oh no, you're talking about Green Hell. I should probably finish that, shouldn't I? I already had the first one, so I'll try to, I don't know, within the year get back to Green Hell and actually finish that story for you guys. But what I was going to say is I don't know if you can hear the music that's playing, but if you're a fan of lo-fi, you can look up dark lo-fi. Ill-Advised Records, this guy also has a publication called The Dark Door. It has some very interesting little stories, and if you write horror short stories, you can actually submit them to him. He'll pay you like $50 to put it in his book. He's just one man out of Canada. But he also makes this music that we're currently listening to, and he sells them in these really neat cassette tapes. And I've talked to a lot of lo-fi people. Blurred I've talked to a couple times, but this man I've yet to like get him to interact with me other than telling me that I can use his music in videos. So sometimes you'll hear this in like the intro or the back end of a video and whatnot. But he makes some very cool stuff. I have a lot of his tapes, as well as this signed cassette tape player. And I actually listen to his stuff all the time when I'm reading. I really enjoy these things. But yeah, cassettes, dark lo-fi. This is a Halloween one. Very neat. Oh, cool, Kratos. Kratos, did you possibly find me from me shilling my channel in his live stream? But yes, I love Ill-Advised Records. I would like to interview him because he's a very cool guy and he makes some very cool stuff. So if you guys like lo-fi, go support this man. Buy some of his really cool cassette tapes. Highly recommend. My favorite by him so far would have to be In Exposure Therapy. It's very slow. It's very kind of emotional, but I do really like it. Okay, next up we have. Oh, you did, Kratos. That's cool. Thank you for following me on that channel, dude. That's really dope. Next up, we have this. I've owned this for like a decade. My dad got it for me a long time ago before I even read comic books. And this is one of the first videos I did on the channel, is The Death of the Superman. Now, this thing is really fun. I think the first intro is very campy and very weird, but as the story progresses, it's good. And this is when the Justice League was called the Justice Leaguers. And it also comes with the movie, which I thought was also very cool. So we'll throw this in the Superman pile. Once again, The Dark Door. I'm going to keep this by my cassette tapes just because I like to keep all this stuff in one spot. We'll put that over there. And I'm out of books. We need to grab more. Cool. Now we're getting to some good stuff. Another one of my very first videos, Batman, A Death in the Family, where Robin is viciously beat to death with a crowbar by the Joker. It's very neat. It's very goofy. The Joker eventually becomes the ambassador of Iran or Libya or something like that. But it's a very good story, and it has the back half where Batman's actually dealing with the emotions that he has of his partner dying and like the service and things like that. So, highly recommend that. Thought it was very good. Going in the Batman pile. Another video that I've done, Joker the Killer Smile. Now this one I really enjoyed. This is also by Jeff Lemire. And essentially, it's about Joker's therapist in Arkham Asylum. Now he slowly warps his mind and makes this man go utterly insane. As well as Batman. Basically he almost has like the fear toxin, and he eventually makes Batman believe that the Batman thing has always been in his head, and that he's actually insane, and that he's just in the asylum as well. You have no idea, Tannen. Let me pick you up, boy. Alright, so if you come over here, these shelves were straight, but because of all the weight, and this is something I used to get comments on a lot, but you can see how these things have gotten very warped over time of me putting so much weight on them. But yes, Joker the Killer Smile. I'm gonna put that in the Joker section. Put that over there. Another one of my I think this is the second video that I ever did. It was on Batman The Killing Joke, where Batman finally loses it and maybe or maybe not kills Joker. But it's also got this very weird story in the back end about this man who's been a good boy his entire life and decides that he wants to do something bad. And then after that, he is going to go on to complete school. He's going to get married and have kids. What this bad thing is he decides he's going to wait in an alleyway for Batman to appear. And he's just going to shoot him in the head with a pistol. And essentially, he does it. It's not canon or anything, but it's very interesting. Alright, next up we have The Sandman, The Dollhouse. I've yet to actually read this. I've watched the show. But I'm actually very excited. I actually do need to start reading The Sandman and cover some things out of that. But I might wait for season 2 to come out before I do so. So, where did I say I was going to put that? We'll put it in the Garth Ennis stuff. Oh no, we gotta... Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel about most Batman stories that aren't canon. At least they're a lot of fun. Alright, got a drink of water. My battery's reaching 20% on my phone, so hopefully we can get through these. So, what we have next off the shelf is a very neat find that I found on a little app called Mercury. And it's kind of like an online garage sale, but it's one of the best places that I found to find very weird and very unique comic books that I've never seen anywhere else. And while these aren't super unique, it is how they were issued. So let me make sure these are all the same thing. And I believe they are. But these are all collected editions from the 90s or early 2000s that are Spawn. The original versions of Spawn. Like issue 1 through, I don't even know, but I'm trying to find the rest of these things because they're very weird. and each one has like 4 or 5 issues in them. But I thought they were nonetheless very interesting. So I just want to make sure they're all in the upright positions. And we will go ahead and put that in the Spawn pile. Rule of cool. Linear storytelling. Yup, I believe that. Let's go ahead and grab another chunk. Looks like I missed one of these Spawn comic books. Put that aside. And now we're going to have to start a whole new pile for the Predator crossovers. This is Predator versus Robot Fighter, which I have yet to even read yet. I don't know what it is. It's older. And I'll read it someday. We have another Aftershock comic, Mother F Goose. This thing it's okay. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but I did enjoy it. But it's Aftershock. Next up, we have, I don't know what the hell that is. Eclipso, The Darkness Within. Something that came with those Spawn comic books. They threw in like an additional little bonus, but I'm just realizing that this is a weird thing going on with it. I don't know if that came with the comic book initially, but if you see right here, there's actually this piece of plastic sticking directly out of the eye. That's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. So the Spawn one, you said it was a weird... Yeah, I don't know if it's like a super weird release, but I've just never seen them besides on that app called Mercury, where, it's just like the first iteration of Spawn being released in like a volume or like a tiny omnibus or something like that. Well, it's pretty cool. I don't have any single issues of Spawn. I think I have like 1 or 2, but I do have those weird ones. This... What do we even do with it? All right, we're just gonna... I have a lot of these single issues. I mostly try to buy omnibuses and collections of stuff that are just in one book, so I don't have a billion of these little slipcases that I can't tell what they are. So we're gonna set that, and we're gonna start ourselves a single issue pile. This is a book by Randall R. Scott, Ad Infinitum, and I've yet to read it yet. I'm not gonna lie. Right here. So, this has Ellis, Ennis, Azzarello. It's got a bunch of different people. Well, this is that weird Constantine story that Ellis eventually quit DC about. It's called Shoot, and it's very dark, extremely dark. But we're gonna go ahead and put that in with the Constantine stuff. Next up, after reading Swamp Thing and discovering Etrigan the Demon, I decided I wanted to read some more about this guy because he's so weird. And this is The Demon Driven Out, and it's pretty good actually. I did enjoy it. It's kind of about Tokyo Mafia, Japanese Mafia, and eventually Etrigan comes into play. It's a weird story. And we're gonna go ahead. And we'll just throw that with the indie stuff, honestly. I do need to make a case for them. Honestly, I could probably put them in my chest right here. Because, yeah, they get easily bent and things like that. Etrigan is pretty dope. I do like him. And he was really cool in Batman the Dam. This one... Another Aftershock. This is the first Aftershock comic I ever bought. And you may see Cthulhu, but what is on the inside is some very not great artwork that, I don't know. I did not care about this thing. But we'll put that with the rest. This is Hellblazer, Constantine, Hard Times. And this is a messed up story. It's basically... So one of Constantine's friends ends up offing himself, and Constantine's in the room. And Constantine's done a lot of questionable things, and for some reason, he basically lets the police think that he murdered his best friend. And he gets sent to prison. And some of the events that partake in that are... Whoa. very hard to read. Looks like we're getting all my Constantine stuff. Constantine, Good Intentions. This is another one that is extremely dark, but also very good. I very highly recommend anything Constantine Hellblazer from Vertigo from back in the day. Next up, we have the next part of the Dark Tower series. I have yet to read this one, but it's another one that I found at that weird thrift shop. This is like a $20, $30 book, and they were selling it for like $4.99, so I had to pick it up for later use. This is one of the videos that I've done, one of my earlier ones. This is Autumnal, and this is actually one that also has Wordy and Campbell. Two people that whenever I see their names on a book, I pick it up because I know it's going to be amazing. And Autumnal is definitely one of them. I would definitely go check out my older video. It's not quite my current style. You can definitely tell it's when I was kind of figuring things out, but Autumnal is a very, very cool story. We're going to throw that right in the horror pile. Next up, we have Saga, which I actually need to get the other ones so we can put them in the same spot. Saga is a very weird sci-fi space fantasy, and it's very goofy, it's very silly, but it's something that I've really been enjoying. We'll put that in its own little pile, or actually we'll put it in the indie stuff just put together. Yeah, Tannen, I very highly recommend you check out Autumnal. It's a story that I go back to I recommend you read it in fall time, but anytime's good too. So, now we're gonna start getting closer to the Hellraiser stuff. Joe Hill. Somebody's literally just talking about this. I think this is Stephen King's son. This is about a comedian with a very dark sense of humor. I don't really know how to describe the story, but I did really enjoy it. It's called Dying is Easy. It's very cool. And I didn't even think about Joe Hill being Stephen King's son. But we'll go ahead. We're going to throw that in the indie pile. Now, next up, we have Volume 1 of the Sandman, something I very much need to get into. The Sandman series is absolutely amazing. I've listened to the audiobook dramatization, I've watched the show, and I've read a couple of issues, and it's something that I absolutely love. Put that rest with the Sandman. Next up, we have Fables. Now, if you don't know what Fables is, and you've heard of Telltale Games, The Wolf Among Us, that is actually derived from this. And what this is a bunch of really weird stories. And if you go to my channel and you look for a video about Snow White, that's one of the stories that's featured in this book, and it's very interesting, very cool though. So where should we put that? I guess that would go into indie stories as well. Second copy of The Joker, we're going to put that with the other one. We already talked about it. Here we go. Another one with Wordy. This is God Country, and this is also a very good story. It's about a man, and his dad comes down with Alzheimer's until a sword comes down from space and basically cures this man. It's a sword that's felt every single battle that's ever happened in the universe. It's a very heart-touching story. I know it sounds weird, but it's another one that I highly recommend. We'll go indie with that. Now, next up, this is Clive Barker's Razor line, and I think it's just kind of an introduction to some of Clive Barker's superhero stories that he did for Marvel. It's very interesting. Yeah, it's just like a bunch of previews, though. Next up, we have some more of the Hellraiser comics, something that obviously I cover a lot on my channel. I do love Hellraiser. I love the comic books probably more than the movies. But I'm trying to find the rest of these bad boys. And then next up, we have Azzarello's Batman the Damned, something that is absolutely amazing. I also have a video of this on my channel, something that you should definitely go watch, and something you should read for yourself. I highly recommend actually reading it before you watch my video on it. But Batman the Damned is absolutely amazing. Okay. Do I read manga? Tannen actually just started getting into it, dude. So I'm almost all the way through the Dorohedoro thing. I've read most of the Berserk series, which is absolutely awesome. But I've really been enjoying Dorohedoro. Q Hayashida, she makes some dope books. And I've actually been binging her stuff. This is basically all I've been reading for like the last 2 weeks is Dorohedoro and her new series, which is, real quick, pull these out. So, I don't have any manga videos yet. So, we have a bunch of the, not only Dorohedoro, which I really, really like, and then this is by the same person who made that, but this is Die Dark, and these are all like 12 bucks a piece, and Die Dark is fucking awesome, man. It's so goofy, it's so dark, but it's also very sweet and heart-touching all at the same time, and that's kind of like what I love when I find a really good comic book. That's awesome. What up, Print? I see that you're back, dude. The shelf is not leaning. My phone is just kind of askew, dude. Definitely the shelves are definitely sagging, though. They're sagging big time. But another Hellraiser comic book. We need to get this thing in a sleeve case because it is old and it deserves to be protected. Let me actually take you guys with me. So, first, I'm going to turn down the music a little bit. My girlfriend's aunt, before she passed, she actually gave me like every Clive Barker book, every Stephen King book, a bunch of Clive Barker comic books. But what she also gave me was all these Stephen King VHS stuff, as well as original Hellraiser stuff like that. But we need to grab a couple of these slipcases. Sleeve case that, yeah. Yeah, man, she was a really cool lady, and it was sad to see her pass because it's one person in her family that I really got along with. Like we read all the same books, we read all the same comic books, and she absolutely loved Stephen King and Clive Barker. And yes, Tannen, I absolutely love Dorohedoro, dude. I've been watching the Netflix adaptation as I read the books. I do like the books a lot better. I think sometimes anime, and I hate to say this, gets a little too anime-y for me. But yeah, Dorohedoro is amazing. And if you like that, you need to read Die Dark because it's by the same person, and it's also an absolutely amazing story. And yeah, thank you, Print. I appreciate that, dude. She's a really awesome lady. These are all the Stephen King books that she actually gave me. This isn't even all of them, dude. She literally owned every single one of them. And I have a tote downstairs with the rest of those books. So it's safe to say that I have not read all of those yet. Here we go. Let's quick sleeve up Hellraiser and put it with its brethren. Sometimes I have a very hard time actually sleeving these things. There we go. All right, we're putting it with the rest of its friends. Oh no. We have another one without a sleeve. Here we go. That's just a little G Fuel. This is what my phone battery is at, guys. I've been streaming for almost 2 hours now. Doro anime about the lizard. Yep, it is the one about the lizard face, dude. Usually just watch Slice of Life, or the realistic ones, or Cyberpunky. Yep, Akira, super good. The original Ghost in the Shell, things like that. It takes a really good anime for me to get into it, but some of the ones that I really liked is Tokyo Ghoul. Psycho-Pass was one of my favorites. Dorohedoro is very good. The manga is absolutely awesome. And I actually just started reading Hellsing, which I hear a lot of people like. This is the first volume, and I'm about halfway through this thing. And so far, I'm not feeling it super much. It's very goofy. But I'm hoping it's going to get better. I'm going to keep giving it a shot. Next up, I just got these. I just read them. Some Hellboy stuff. I've never read Hellboy before, so I picked these up. And it was alright. I don't think it's the best place to start with Hellboy, but it was fun nonetheless. I'll go ahead and just put that in the indie stuff so I don't have anything else. My pride and joy when it comes to Clive Barker is Son of Celluloid, dude. I've been wanting to make a video on this for so long, but every time I sit down to actually do it, I just can't, all right? I don't know how to cover this thing. It's eluding me every single day. But Son of Celluloid, a story from the Books of Blood, and something that I really enjoy. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, but it's a fantastic story and a fantastic graphic novel adaptation. So we're going to put this along with the Hellraiser stuff. We have one of the new releases of Creepshow from last year. I know I have another one of these. We'll just quick put this with its brother. Where you go, Creepshow? There. That over there. Bam! What we have here is the Hellraiser Christmas Special, which is, I have a full series of this. This is what I did for Christmas last year, and I don't know what I'm going to do this year now. Books of Blood is very wild. But, yeah, go check out my video, you guys, if you haven't seen it. This is a very wild ride. If you can pick it up, I found this thing for like 10 or 20 bucks, but, going with the Hellraiser stuff. What we have here is another original Batman vs. Spawn from late 80s, early 90s. I can't remember, but this is something that I grew up with and something I definitely have a connection to. Alright, next up we have Deadly Duo. I need to get these back in order. Alright, so this is a newer Batman series called The Deadly Duo, where Batman and Joker actually have to team up. And I actually do really enjoy it. I have to finish it though. So we're gonna put this in with the Batman. We have a second or third copy of Batman and Spawn War Devils. I don't know why I bought so many. Actually I do, because the first one I got had ink pen writing in it, and I was like, I can't have that. I need a pristine copy. And I got it. Next up. Now this was a guilty pleasure buy when I first started buying comics. So, this is... Sorry, yeah, stuff dropping out. The newest Batman and Spawn. It is the one that I've done a video on, yep. And, yeah, so this is the new Batman and Spawn. I did not love the story, and I do gotta cover it to complete my Batman and Spawn arc on my channel. But I have not got the guts to do it yet, because I need to read it a few more times. But, Basically, when this thing was first announced, they had a deal where you could get every single variant cover for $70. So that's what I did. These are all Batman and Spawn 2022, I believe. So, yep, there's just so many. It's all Batman and Spawn. It's all Batman and Spawn. It's all. Ooh, we've come across something cool. All right, Batman Holy Terror. Another thing that I've tried to do videos on, and for some reason I just could not get it right, so I put it aside for later use. But Batman Holy Terror is also absolutely awesome and something that I really enjoy. But we're gonna go ahead and put that with the rest of the Batman stuff. The Commissioner, this is something that comes after the Batman Who Laughs, where Commissioner Gordon gets the same disease or whatever, but yet to have read this yet. Put that there. Let's see what you got to say, Brent. How many variants? I don't know. I believe it's 10 variant covers, Brent. And I like owning them, but I should not have spent the money on that. Oh my god. We're getting to the end. We only have one more shelf left. Okay. So this is Geiger. It's after the nuclear apocalypse and a superhero with radiation powers, basically. It's by Geoff Johns, and I do like it a lot, but it's definitely going in the indie pile. There. Yeah, Print. Basically, when I find a series that I want, it's like an obsession, dude. I have to find them all. I have to get every single one of them. It's not necessarily a good thing. And I think I might have OCD. What we got here is Evil Dead, the movie adaptation, pretty much. And this thing is... I have a video on this as well. It's not too bad. It gives some insight to what Ash was doing before the cabin and things like that. And it was really cheap, and this is around the time when I first started buying comic books, but the art style of it is very cool. You know, I love Evil Dead. I absolutely love Evil Dead. So we'll put that in with horror. I already covered, got some more Department of Truth, James Tynion stuff. Very fantastic. Just going to go ahead and put it with its brethren. I'm noticing I'm missing the first one. The Order of the World, Arkham City. This is a very neat Batman book that doesn't even really feature Batman besides in a few different spots where basically everybody from Arkham Asylum escapes, especially this dude on the front who has some very weird powers. He's like figures on his eyes. It's hard to explain, but it's going in the Batman pile. Yeah, man, there's a ton of Evil Dead comic books, Print. I don't know if you've seen this. Let me quick show you. So, this is Army of Darkness, but it takes place in space. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not very good. But I had to see what the fuck it was. Evil Dead in space. Very strange. Next up, another comic book that I have a video on, The Witcher, A Grain of Truth. I really like this. I think it really paid homage to The Witcher. I was kind of worried that they were going to dumb it down, water it down, but it's The Witcher. Yeah, and it's pretty good. Put that in its own little category. We have Creepshow 2 on VHS. Yep, it was a good Butcher story. And yeah, you see Evil Dead in space, you gotta check it out. So, let's reach beyond the branches. Alright. We got the first volume of the Yu-Gi-Oh manga, but sadly it sustained some water damage. But man, if you guys have seen the anime, forget about it. Because what the actual story was back in the day is something completely wild. But we'll just put this aside. We'll put this in the manga pile. We have Distillery, which was a new set of comic books by a bunch of different writers. This is the first issue. Did not really care about it too much, but I'm excited to see what they do next because Tinian writes some good stuff. But it's just another case of short story, horror, and sci-fi just not getting enough pages to actually flesh out their stories. But we will put this, I'm going to put it with Aftershock. A very DC Halloween, something featured very much so. Actually, one of you asked me if I had a local comic book shop. Well, one of the ones that I went to had Kenny Porter, one of the men who writes a story in it, and it's actually a man that I got to meet. And at the time, I have a Flash comic that he wrote and signed for me or whatever. And he told me to check out this. And that's a story of how I got into a very DC Halloween. We'll put that over here. Next, we have the plot. It's okay. I don't even really have much to say about it. It's kind of just a horror story that also didn't really have the greatest story ever. But we'll throw that in the horror pile. We have the Vault of Horror, EC Archives. Some really old school stuff. These are okay. They're straight up alright, is what I'd have to say about them. Next up, we have the 2012 Boom Studios Hellraiser that a lot of people have been telling me to read. And I got the first issue, or the first volume, and I do think it's fairly decent. Yeah, basically the plot had no plot, or at least not a good plot. We're going to put this with the Hellraiser stuff. This is a really neat Batman run that's going on right now by Raphael Grandpa. That has some very interesting artwork, and something that I would like to do a live talk video in the next week or two or something. Yeah, they do throw a lot of lore, and it's something I would like to cover myself, but we'll see what happens. Now this is Spider-Man Spider Shadow, where basically instead of Venom becoming Venom, Peter Parker becomes Venom. It's not too bad. I've never read any other Spider-Man besides this, and I just seen it, and I thought, I have to check that out. Throw that in with Indy. This is Hellraiser: The Dark Watch. Now, I bought this first before the other one, and I've only read this first volume from the Dark Watch series itself, and I wasn't quite feeling it, but I'm gonna have to get the rest of the books and see what happens. Alright, next up, we have the rest of the Hellraiser series. We have Hellraiser Spring Slaughter, which I have a video on, as well as these other books that have a lot of the things featured on this channel. But very cool. You guys obviously know about Hellraiser. So we'll put that there. Okay. The Dark Room. I really enjoy this thing. I don't even know how to describe the story, but it's a lot of fun, and it's something that I do recommend. It actually has a sequel coming out soon that I'm very excited about. We'll put that there. Got some stuff that needs sleeves. We have this weird issue of Spawn that I've yet to read yet. We'll just go ahead and plot that down with the rest of the Spawn books. And then we have the Dark Crystal movie adaptation from right after the movie came out. It is not very good, but had to have it. Next up, we have Luther, and this thing is really cool. This is actually about Lex Luthor creating an android that can actually go up against Superman. It's a very emotional story, and it's one that I really liked and something I definitely want to cover later on in the future. Well, like I said, we'll see. I say that about basically everything I read. But Luther, very cool. Put that in the Superman stuff. We have Haha, which I recently talked about, something that I would like to cover more extensively. But yeah, this is very cool. It's the man who made the ice cream series, Ice Cream Man, and except instead of ice cream, it's about sad and depressing clowns. Very neat. Next up, this is a weird find that I found at this pawn shop, and this is about like a gothic London back in the 1980s, and it is crazy violent and really good. True that print. The Sandman Universe, Nightmare Country. This is actually by James Tinian, and it is absolutely fantastic. One of the coolest reads that I've read in quite a long time. We'll go ahead and throw that in with the rest. Then we have DC versus Vampires Volume 2. Really enjoyed the first volume. Second volume, I wasn't quite feeling it, but maybe I just need to read it again. Know that cover? Which one? Oh, Nightmare Country? I think that's what you might be talking about. No. If you have... 1 minute, let me put this with the other one. If you've been on this channel a while, you might have seen the interview that I did with Chris Moses, the man behind Red Sea Comic Books. He was a very cool guy, and he actually sent me this. This is omnibus series of one of his comic books, Alpha. Oops, The Saturn Effect. Yes, and it's actually really good. It has some really cool artwork. If you want to support a smaller comic book creator, definitely go check out Red Sea Comics. He has some really cool stuff. Looks like we need another stat. I just checked the channel analytics, everybody. We're at 1,493 subscribers. We're so close to 1,500. I'm really hoping we hit that in the morning. I really hope, but it's so cool. So thank you, everybody that's here. I really appreciate you guys. Let's grab another big ass stack. Okay, so what we have next is Wonder Woman, Dead Earth. The apocalypse happens, and Wonder Woman is basically the last crusader of the planet. Now, this thing's in a hardcover, and it's actually a really, really decent story. I really enjoyed it. We'll put this with the DC stuff. Next up, we have the Blair Witch comic books, something I would like to cover, but I have not finished reading them yet. But I loved the Blair Witch when I was growing up. I know a lot of people hate it, but I really enjoyed it. I liked the movie a lot. I even like the sequel, Blair Witch 2, as well as the remake with famous actor James Allen McCune. This is one of the only other comic books that I've ever seen Epic Comics make besides the Hellraiser series. And when I seen this, I knew I had to pick it up just to see what other stories they chose. And this is like a weird horror genetic story about a lab trying to create bioweapons and things. And it's very strange. It's not the greatest thing ever, but it is something that I do enjoy having in my collection. So I'm going to throw that in with the Hellraiser stuff. Now, these are very weird. And I have a bunch of these. They're biblical comic books. One's about the Antichrist, the Rapture. I have one about hell, and they're not what you think they are. They're like informative from a Christian standpoint. And while I'm not like a man of God, I was like, a Christian comic book. I need to check these out. They're very weird, very strange. I'm gonna go ahead and throw these in the horror pile. Just some other stuff, some early Image comic stuff that I have yet to read. We have Grendel, another earlier comic book series from Image, I believe. Nope, it's Dark Horse that I also need to read. Oh, the Blair Witch movie? Yeah, because it was like the first found footage movie, right? I mean, Paranormal Activity came out way after that. And I seen the Blair Witch when I was a kid, and it scared the shit out of me. Next up, we have Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise. This is an arc. This is the only Doctor Strange thing I've ever read. I'm not super into reading Marvel. I'll watch the movies and things, but obviously, if you've seen this channel, you'll know that Marvel isn't exactly my taste. But this is a story with some really unique artwork and a very trippy story. And I really liked it. Yep, first box office found footage. Yeah. Somebody was telling me to read some Judge Dredd, and I have not done so, but I actually did end up finding something. So this is an older Judge Dredd comic book. The artwork actually does look very cool. I'm a big fan of the old movie as well as the newer remake. And I should probably get into that. But we'll put that in with the indie stuff. We have some more stuff by Chris Moses, Control Z, the man who I interviewed on the channel a while ago. He also sent me these along with the Saturn Effect. Very, very interesting story. Very cyberpunky. Definitely go support that man. We'll put that with next. Let's see what my phone's at. All right, we got 7% battery. I think we're gonna get through the rest of the shelf, and I'm gonna have to end the stream, guys. I'm gonna have to. My phone's gonna die, so I'm gonna put all these back on the shelf once we get through them all, organize it, and yeah. So far, anybody who's here, thank you so much for watching. We're not quick done yet, but I do appreciate you guys just hanging out with me while I sit here talk about every single comic book that I own. These are just some random stuff. The comic book shop, by my house, Vault of Midnight, a store that I absolutely love. They have a discount shelf that has like complete runs of single issue comic books. So these are stuff by Boom Studios and one other one. I've yet to read these, but eventually I'll get around. You know, usually I like to wait till I have some hours in the nighttime and I just read my brains out. Next, we have The Closet, which I did a Let's Talk video on. Very good. Something that really struck a chord with me and stuff, and like my upbringing and stuff. The anxiety of uncertainty as a child. This is also by James Tynion. Very good. So we will put that with horror. We have Batman Elseworlds, which is something that I absolutely love. This also includes, let's go ahead and just quick grab the ones that I know. So, Elseworld stories. I've been waiting to do Batman Blood Rain. And if you've been following this channel, this is what I was going to be covering for my Halloween special. Go ahead, look at that artwork. It's utterly insane. It looks fucking crazy. But Elseworlds is really cool. It's Batman in a bunch of really unique scenarios. I feel like they don't do it anymore because, you know, there's just so many weird Batman stories at this point. But Elseworlds is very cool. You can find this for like $20. There's like 7 different stories in here, spanning from like Batman Frankenstein to I Joker, where essentially it's 1,000 years in the future and they resurrect Batman every year as well as his villains so we can hunt them down and kill them. And the Elsewhere series is just very cool. This one's like medieval times where Batman is a literal Batman and the Joker is a dark sorcerer that does some very messed up things. And Batman Bloodstorm and Red Rain, Batman is a vampire. Very cool stuff, and something that I'm very proud to have in my collection. Here's another Elseworld, Batman the Mask, which I have also yet to read. Put that with the rest. We're making our way, everybody. We're so close. We're so heckin' close. Another last podcast on the left. Comic book. I love that podcast. It's one of my favorites. It's pretty dark at times, but I absolutely love these guys. So I buy whatever they put out. That over there. We have Rick Grimes 2000. This is Walking Dead, except if everybody died and the world instead was abducted or taken over by aliens. And it turns out in this thing that the aliens put this disease of the zombies on the earth. And this is actually something, a really big theory in the Walking Dead universe, is that aliens actually did instill the zombie virus. Yeah, last podcast on the left has been around for like over a decade. They cover conspiracies, they cover serial killers, they cover like dark history events, all sorts of different things. If you're into podcasts, it's one that I do recommend. I don't know if you're into like listening about serial killers, but their coverage of Jeffrey Dahmer's life, anybody you can think of, man. They have some goofy ones too. I really recommend them, though. I think last podcast on the left is just a really fun group of people to listen to. But we shall put this with the rest of the Walking Dead stuff. Oh my god. Oh. So heavy. And I'm actually missing a couple issues of Ice Cream Man. Woo woo. Something that's a personal favorite on my channel. I always love doing videos about this guy. I have like 3 other issues besides these that I've brought to different various job sites, and they're lost. So I'm just going to have to get more, I guess. But we'll definitely throw that in the horror pile. Fake alien ending for the book as a troll to the industry or something like that. Oh, what up, Cody Collins? What's up, dude? I hope you're having a good night. And yeah, I don't know. I've just heard that it's actually a pretty big theory. The Ice Cream Man is damn good. It really is. The Ice Cream Man is very unique and it's very fun. And the way Maxwell Prince is able to kind of tie Easter eggs in between all of his different stories is something I really enjoy. Like when I first started the channel and started like getting into comic books, I always seen it on Amazon, and I always seen that 50s looking Ice Cream Man. I was like, what could this possibly be like? And I'm so glad that I actually picked it up. But we are about to start getting into some cool stuff, everybody. This is Batman versus Alien, all right? This is a really cool set. It's not exactly aliens. I mean, it is. I don't even know how to describe it, but this is something that I'm very proud to have. Something that I grew up with when I was very young. I couldn't read yet, but just looking at the artwork and things like that. It's some very cool stuff. Next up, we have some more Clive Barker stuff. Tapping the Vein, which I have yet to read. My dad had this when I was very little, and I remember looking at this cover, and it used to scare me to death, man. Oh my god. But yeah, so I got to read these. Hopefully sometime in some part of my life we'll talk about this on the channel. Put that with the rest of Clive Barker. Just another weird single issue that I found. I don't know what it's about. Yeah, Batman vs. Alien is very, very cool. Now, story time. So I have one video on these set of comic books. This is Dark Fantasies. It's very hard to find any information on these. I did one video on it, but the rest of it has so much blood, boobs, sex, and vampires that it's hard to find one that I can show on YouTube that I don't have to worry about in the future, possibly like getting my channel taken down. But Dark Fantasies, if you can find it on eBay, these are really cool. Very niche and very unique. They're hard as hell to find. And I'm only missing 2 of the issues before I have them all. But they're extremely cool. Ancient underground vampire world. Very neat. Something I very much enjoy. Tapping the Vein, something else I never knew existed. Which 2? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Cody. I don't know if you're talking about the video that I did on Dark Fantasies. It's about vampires and things like that. And then, the 2 that he's never heard of. That was Tapping the Vein. Let me quick show you again. These right here, Tapping the Vein by Clive Barker, the man who does Hellraiser, Imagica, all those amazing books. Oh, I'm missing 2 issues of the Dark Fantasy series that I still need to find. course being about vampires. And we are reaching the end of the shelf. And yeah, thanks, Print. I like all modern comics, but I love going on eBay and I love going on Mercury and just finding like weird stuff, man. Like weird comic books that don't have giant franchise behind them that are just, kind of like single issue stuff. And yeah, it's a fun hunt. Rip Stream. Oh, you might even be right, dude. We're at 4%. These are the last of them. Let's go through them, and then, yeah, my phone's going to die, and I'm going to have to end this thing. Once again, everybody, thank you, everybody, for sitting here, hanging out with me. You guys even see this fucking madness? Oh, my God. So many books that I'm going to have to put back on my shelf. Right, let's finish this. This is it, everybody. Stop laughing. There we go. This is the Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing. I've yet to get into this. I have 2 of these copies. You might have seen Fox News blow a hissy fit on this about the Joker being pregnant and them literally saying that they don't care about context and trying to just say very dumb things. It was like one of the only comic book stories that made me very mad because what they were saying about this. So basically, Zatanna, Constantine's girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, makes Joker be pregnant with his very own self. It's very wacky, and it's very weird. More Deadly Duo. Look, Print, we have another variation copy of the new Batman and Spawn. Yeah, it does. I don't read any comic books on the internet. I actually just really love having the physical versions, but I imagine ebooks are far cheaper. What we have next is something very cool. You've seen we had Batman versus aliens. Well, how about Superman versus Alien? These things are incredibly neat. Another one that I really want to do videos on. This is actually very cool. You would think Superman would be able to beat the alien's ass, right? No, because he's on a different planet that doesn't have sunlight. So he's basically just a regular man. Which I thought was a very creative way to kind of, add danger to the element. Next up, we have Batman vs. Predator. It's a 3-issue series. It's something I also grew up with looking at the pictures, but when I had these when I was a kid, I could not read at the time. So, yeah, I still got to read these. There's something you have you don't want to touch. You can at least read it here for free. Yeah, I agree. That's how I feel about the Batman and Spawn stuff. That's why I got the new collected version, so I could just leave my other ones in the thing. We're still at 4%, everybody. So let's finish this. I believe this last stack is all of Clive Barker's Marvel Studio run. So let me get these organized, and then I'll show you guys. Okay. More Saint Center. Hardwares. More Saint. Ecto. Saint. Ecto. Spawn. Okay, so Frank Frazetta's, I forget what I just read that was actually by this guy, but this is another single issue of sci-fi horror short stories that I have not read yet, but I am kind of excited to be getting into this thing. I'm going to go ahead and throw that in my horror pile, so I don't forget about it. DC versus Halloween, The Man That I Met. at the comic book shop who has a story in that. This is what he signed for me. It was a Flash tie-in for the movie or something. I've yet to read it because I knew it probably wasn't going to be very good. But as soon as I seen an actual comic book writer, I had to buy his stuff, and I had to make sure he signed it just because I love supporting the thing that I love, which is cool stories, basically. And how we're going to end this is with all Clive Barker stuff. So what we have here is some more Saint Sinner, something that I covered on my channel quite a bit, something that I need to get back into so we can actually complete the story of it. Yeah, Saint Sinner is very cool. If you look at this, it's got like a holographic front. Yep, fitting ending. I think so too, especially for this channel after we've covered so much Clive Barker. Next, we have Hokum and Hex, another Clive Barker superhero Marvel comic run, which I have not read this at all. I should probably get into it. When you see Clive Barker with a Marvel tag, it just blew my mind the first time I seen it. Next, we have The Ecto Kid, also by Clive Barker, which is totally crazy. Thank you, Tannen. Yep, we love Ice Cream Man here. Ice Cream Man is dope. But yes, Ecto Kid, also by Clive Barker. Razorline Comics, Marvel Studios. Another one that I have not gotten into. Hyperkind, also by Clive Barker, which I have not read yet. And for the last bit, everybody, this is Clive Barker, The Horrors, which some of you might actually know about. If you look at this cover, you can see Pinhead at the top, and this actually ties into not only Nightbreed, but also the Cenobites. And I've yet to read any of these either. I should probably check it out. It'll probably be very cool. So we're going to throw all these into the Clive Barker section. Oh, wouldn't you know, print? Another variation of Batman and Spawn. Whew, everybody. All right, let's see where we're at. We're at 3%. I forgot one stack. We have this manga, PTSD Radio. It's very weird. I'm almost done with it. I'm so far not really understanding what's going on, but apparently people love this thing, so I'm hoping by the ending it'll wrap itself up. I recently just found these on Mercury. I have yet to read them yet, but they do look very cool. Very neat, some early Image Comics stuff. Let's go ahead, kind of leave these in their own spot. This is another new Batman run that I started reading. Batman City of Madness. So it actually has something to do with like Cthulhu, as well as the Court of Owls. And so far, book one has been very neat. We have this series called Mom, which I recently read, which I thought was going to be like weird, like cyberspace, like 90s kind of stuff, kind of like the Lawnmower Man, but it's actually just like a superhero story. I was kind of disappointed, but it's not too bad. This is what I recorded for Halloween, everybody, before my hard drive died. Very sad. And then this is another one, Whatever Happened to the Masked Crusader by Neil Gaiman, the man who made Coraline, The Sandman, all sorts of these really awesome stuff. Neverwhere, American Gods, a man whose writing that I truly love. And I really want to cover this. It's very heart-touching. It's very sweet. But, all right, everybody. Let's see it. Hold up. What have I done, dude? What have I done? All right, so the shelf is empty. Quick read your comments. Have you cover and read to us books? Most comic channels either don't even exist. Yeah, don't worry about the hard drive, bro. It happens. We're upgraded now. And yeah, man, there's so many comic book channels that I tried to cover older stuff, horror stuff, things that other people aren't really covering, and things that are like right up my vein. So yeah, I appreciate all of you guys. And yeah, Thank you guys so much for watching me sit here and ramble. We literally just talked about every single comic book I own, and it was very cathartic for me. And I don't think there's anybody else on the planet that would have just listened to me do that. So let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. We got 2% battery. So if the stream ends, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much. That's fucking awesome that we just sat here and went through all that. I'm so excited. But here we go. Okay, so we have Batman stuff. We have Swamp Thing stuff. We have Joker stuff. A Joker adjacent. Superman stuff. Garth Ennis, as well as James Tynion, Sandman the Preacher, Last Ronin, every single Batman and Spawn variant you could even possibly think of. Alan Moore. This is all DC stuff. This is all Batman stuff. This is all horror stuff. Clive Barker stuff. Stephen King, Dark Tower stuff. More James Tynion. Aftershock Comics, which there's a bunch of. Jeff Lemire. We have a bunch of Constantine books. All my Spawn stuff sitting there in one place. And more horror. But let me quick read these. Garth Brooks. Yep. I would be down for a Garth Brooks comic book, dude. I really would. But yes, everybody, I really got to go to the bathroom. Thank you, everybody, so much for sitting here with me and letting me talk about all this stuff. You guys are awesome. And I don't know what I'll be covering next, but thank you, everybody. I'm going to end the stream here. I'm about to pee my pants. I need to go. Have yourself a fantastic night. Talk to me in the Discord or something.